Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the channel. I'm Jake, and this is my very first Decklist profile and combo video. Everybody knows me as a metal musician at heart, but on the other side of that spectrum, we have a love for Yu-Gi-Oh! So I am bringing to you today a deck of mostly my design, maybe 50% my design, branded Witchcrafters, because the brand package is the brand package, right? But this is a build and combo of my design. I've been having a lot of fun with this at my locals. Before we get into it, I have a couple of disclaimers. One, this might scare a lot of people off from this video, but I need you to listen to me. This deck, every combo is at least a 2.5 card starter. That sounds terrible, but the saving grace here is that it is a 2.5 card combo of just about any combination of cards in this deck. As long as you have access to 2 of these cards here, plus an additional spellcaster name, you will at least be able to put up a decent board. And then if you open up with Bear Magic on top of that, that's just even further extension. I will showcase all the combos at the end of this video. And then the second thing I want to mention before we jump right into this, I wouldn't take this anywhere above a locals. We're not taking this to a YCS, we're not taking this to nationals. We are going locals, and best case scenario, we will top 8 with this build. So yeah, let's just jump right into that. Alright, we are running 3 up of Aluber, the Jester of Despia. This is our main searcher, searches branded fusion and any of our other branded spell or traps. Best starter in the build. 2, Blazing Cartesia, the Virtuous. This is 3 points each. I would be running her at 3, but with the points, we're at 98 points, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned that already, but this is a 98 point build with some wiggle room. So if you want to build it with a little extra wiggle room in the point side, it is possible. But in this current build, 98, this is 3 points. I had more points, I would run her at 3 because she is a instant Vice Madam. She's a spellcaster that can quick fuse. So obviously, really good card. 2, OG Fallen of Albaz. This is unfortunately a brick in the hand, but because we are recycling branded fusion and we don't really move Albaz from graveyard or banishment. Basically, when we send him to the graveyard or banishment, that's pretty much where he stays. So we need a second one that we can keep in the deck so that we can reuse branded fusion. We are running 2 copies of Albion, the Shrouded Dragon, mainly for the draw power. This card will help us set up the graveyard a little bit, but most of the time, Albion, the Shrouded Dragon, is just for some hand correction. We are running 1 Guiding Quim, the Virtuous. This is fine at 1. She's mostly used for extension later on in the game. There are alternative lines where if you draw Quim, you can make a board, but 1 Quim is where I like her. We are also running 1 Spring-In's Kit. This is just another branded fusion searcher. Kit will let us recycle branded fusion. This is also searchable with branded and high spirit. Moving on to our Witchcrafter monsters, we are playing Double Hane. Now, why are we running Double Hane and not Hane and Madame Vare? Well, Madame Vare feels really bad going first, in my opinion. It's basically a Dark Ruler No More on a body, and it can also buff your monsters. For that reason, I think citing Madame Vare is the better option than to main it, which is why I'm opting for Double Hane. Hane also has the ability where it stops your opponent from targeting any other monsters other than Hane. So this build, one of its goals is to put Double Hane on field, making it so that your spellcasters are not targetable. We are running Double Shemitah, which is probably the best Witchcrafter searcher we have. You can send any Witchcrafter card from deck to graveyard. We play a lot out of the graveyard here, so graveyard setup is very nice. We are running Double Jenny. This is our spell copier. We are running 1 Witchcrafter Adele. This is mainly for the branded fusion. We send a Albaz and a light monster to make Albion, the branded dragon. But this card can also recycle any of our spellcasters. You can tribute her and you can recycle a Cartesia, a Quim, any spellcaster name from the graveyard. Adele can recycle. And lastly, we are running 1 Witchcrafter Golem Aruru. I have a kind of love-hate relationship with this card because it is pretty much a dead card in the hand. It's not super searchable. I guess it's searchable with creation, but it's so niche you almost have to just hard draw Golem. And for this card to matter, you already have to have an established board, because if your opponent can't target your spellcaster monsters, Golem can't trigger in the hand. I'm going back and forth. Right now I'm on Golem, but if there was a single card to cut from this build, I think Golem would be that card. Now for our non-engine cards, we are running 2 Singularity Fiends. Reads like a Witchcrafter card on a Fiend monster. When your opponent special summons a monster, except during the damage step, you can discard this card and a spell, destroy that monster. This deck is really good at keeping spell cards in the hand, and we are running a pretty heavy spell deck. 3 Dimension Shifters. You heard that right, ladies and gentlemen. We are maxing out the D-Shifter at 10 points each. We can put up somewhat of a board under D-Shifter, which means that Dimension Shifter is almost a guaranteed win for us, especially if we hard draw this with a Luber, or if we hard draw this with even better opening and set up the graveyard before Dimension Shifter resolves. We play under D-Shifter, we put up somewhat of a board, and then it's up to our opponent to play under D-Shifter locked out of the graveyard. Most decks cannot play under D-Shifter, so the fact that we can put up any kind of a board is really good in my opinion. Absolutely, we should be running this. Now on to our spells. We are running 3 Branded Opening. This is the Aluber Searcher. It can also search Quim. Sets up our graveyard a little bit with the discard. It also discards for effect. 3 Branded in High Spirits. This is as close to a branded Witchcrafter card as we have right now. This card is very sweet. You can reveal any monster in your hand to search any of the branded engine. This card will also, much like the Witchcrafter spells, will add itself from the graveyard to the hand on the end phase. Then for our 1-ups on the branded engine, we are running 1 Regained. We are banishing a lot, so we might as well get some recycle ability and some draw power out of it. We are running 1 Branded in red. The main combo keeps Albaz in the graveyard, so we might as well put him to use with the Branded in red. And then the bulk of our points is a single Branded Fusion at 40 points for the 1 card. 1 Branded Fusion is perfectly fine because we have a million ways to search it. We have a line that doesn't use Branded Fusion, and we are able to recycle it quite a bit. Ash Blossom got hit with more points this format, so Branded Fusion will most likely resolve. Moving on to the Witchcrafter side of things, we are running 3-up of Ver Magic Lacrima of Light. This is such an easy 3-up in my opinion. It is extension for our combo, punishment to our opponent if they want to interact with us. The whole purpose of Lacrima is to basically get one of our 2 main deck boss monsters on field, which is Hane or Madame Ver. In mid combo, you'll send Jenny off of this card, and then you'll use Jenny to copy the other effect to special summon Hane, or if your opponent decides to interrupt you mid-combo, you can just shotgun this, and then that is instant Hane. And for our 1-ups, we are running 1 Witchcrafter Creation. It will search you any Witchcrafter card, so you can search Golem, or if you just need like another name, you can search Shemida or Jenny. We are running 1 Holiday. This is just a Monster Reborn. 4 Witchcrafters. 1 By Streets. This is protection. It basically gives our Witchcrafter monsters an additional life from destruction. And then we are running a single Magicalized Fusion. We will search this card on end phase with Alba Linitus, and we will hold it ideally for turn 3, where we will send 5 spellcasters with different names to make a Quintet Magician and swing for game on turn 3. We are running 1 Branded Retribution, which is very nice. We are utilizing both effects here because we do end with 2 branded names in the graveyard. So we can negate a summon, and we can recycle Branded Fusion with this card. And we are running 1 Patronus, really helpful keeping spell cards in our hand. 1-up. We don't want to hard draw these. We definitely want to search these because these are dead cards in the hand. And now for the extra deck. 5 points. We are running 1 Albion the Branded Dragon. This is our main dude in the combo. We make him, and then he will make Vice Madam. Lubellion the Searing Dragon for 10 points. This is our D-Shifter play. Under D-Shifter we can make Lubellion and then shuffle back the Banish to make Vice Madam. We are running one Albo Leonidas. I've yet to actually summon this card. I am mainly using him here to send off of Granguinol. He will search the Magicalized Fusion, but it should not be overlooked because if your opponent is playing a dragon heavy deck, this is a contact fuse with the whole board. It requires one Albaz plus one or more dragon monsters on either field, and it is a contact fuse, meaning that your opponent he never sees it coming. So this is the closest thing to a super poly that we have in the build. It is free. And then we are playing one Rindrum the Striking Dragon because we are playing a kit. This gives us an opportunity to do something with kit instead of just leaving it on the board. It gives us an opportunity to make another boss monster. Double Granguinol. If it wasn't for High Spirits, we could run this at 1, but we need the extra Spellcaster in the extra deck to send off of High Spirits. We will use this to send Alba, or we can use it to send a Garura for some draw power. And then we are running one Despian Coritis. This card can be cheated out with Granguinol. It is battle protection, plus it is Albaz Recycle and a Quim Summoner. Double Witchcrafter Vice Madam. This is our main boss monster. It is crucial to our extension, non-target removal. She triggers off of spell casters and spell card effects. You can force this by using your own spells and your own spellcaster effects, and you can trigger her off of your opponent's spells and spellcasters as well. We are running one Mysterion the Dragon Crown. This is a backup boss monster. You will almost always be able to get into this card. All it takes is a spellcaster and a dragon monster, and he banishes all monsters of a like type. So if your opponent is on a heavy dragon deck, you can banish that monster that they summon plus all other dragons on the field. We are playing one Magistus Chorozo. This is battle protection. It is also a contact fuse, which helps us in the extension of the plays, because you don't need a spell card to make this card. You just have to send the materials to the graveyard, which is a spellcaster plus an extra deck monster. We are playing one Garura Wings of Resonant Life at 4 points. I was running Golden Cloud Beast along with this, but they gave both of them 4 points. I opted for the hand correction over the interruption. Send this off of Granguinol to get a draw, but if you would rather the interruption, it is perfectly fine to run a Golden Cloud Beast, and you would still be at 98 points. We are running Quintet Magician. We are making this on turn 3 with Magicalized Fusion. And then we also run 2 Synchro Monsters. We are running one Despian Lulu. This is an extra deck negate, and it can also buff your monsters. Can be cheated out with Granguinol, and Vice Madam can trigger off of her effects. And we are running one Varum the Magistus Divinity Dragon. This card has an effect where if it leaves the field, it will destroy all of your opponent's face-up monster. We can abuse this card by using our own Vice Madam's pop effect to destroy him. He will go to graveyard, and then in a new chain he will trigger and destroy all of your opponent's specials, or not special summon, all of your opponent's face-up cards. That is the build. We are at 42 cards, 98 points. Now let's get into some combos. What can the deck do? Well, if you go full combo uninterrupted, your board should look something like this. With a Vice Madam, a Granguinol, Chorozo, you will have double Hain on field, Retribution and Patronus on field, with an Aluber and possibly even a opening in the graveyard. How does the combo work? This is what a really good hand looks like. You have a Aluber, Cartesia, and an additional spellcaster name for the initial combo. You have a Very Magic in hand, which will extend your combo even further. This is the Hain side of things. And then you have one card for keeping in the hand for your opponent's turn. We will normal summon the Aluber, and the Aluber will search us a Branded Fusion. We go ahead and play the Branded Fusion, and we will send an Adele and an Albaz for a Branded Dragon. Branded Dragon will trigger to fuse. We will fuse with the Adele in the graveyard and the additional spellcaster in our hand. This will make us a Vice Madam. Now from here, we will activate Cartesia in hand because we have an Albaz in the graveyard. This is an activated effect, not a summoning condition, which means Vice Madam will see it, and we can trigger Vice Madam special summoning a Shemitah from the deck, special summon Virtuous From here, we need to get Shmita in the graveyard. We will do that by contact fusing with the Albion and the Shmita, and we make our Chorozo. From here, we need to use Shmita so that we can utilize Vice Madam's effect to pull from the graveyard. So we will banish the Shmita to send the Patronus. From here, we can go Cartesia effect the fuse, and we will chain Vice Madam to her, pulling the Patronus from the graveyard into the hand. We will fuse the Cartesia and the Aluber to make a Granguinol. Granguinol will trigger on summon to send the Albalinidas. Vice Madam cannot trigger here because Granguinol is a fusion spellcaster. Vice Madam does not trigger off of fusion spellcasters, probably because if she was able to, she would be able to trigger off of herself. So we send the Alba there, and from here we will set the Patronus, and we would move to end phase if we didn't have the Lacrima and just start doing graveyard effects. But because we have the Bear Magic in hand, we can activate it, sending the Jenny to the graveyard, and then from there we can go Jenny effect, banish her with the Lacrima to summon our first Hain, and then we go in phase and we start activating graveyard effects. Albalinidas will add us a branded fusion, or not branded fusion, a Magicalized fusion to hand. Cartesia will add herself to hand. Albion will set the branded Retribution. Now, to go even further with the combo, it is kind of dependent on what your opponent does. We are waiting for a spellcaster or a spell card effect to trigger the Vice Madam. So we pass turn. In the draw phase, we should shotgun the Patronus. We'll shuffle back one of our Witchcrafter names, or any spellcaster really, from the banishment or graveyard to search a holiday. This is follow up for turn 3. From here, we are waiting for a spell card or spellcaster to activate so that we can chain a Vice Madam on your opponent's turn. We'll special summon a Witchcrafter name. We can special summon either Jenny or Shmita. I usually go with Shmita because that's good follow up for the next turn. We can then shotgun the Shmita effect to send her and the holiday to the graveyard. Don't forget to chain Vice Madam to this to pull the holiday back so that we basically get the summon for free. And we summon out our second copy of Hain. This is what the full board looks like. It ends on your opponent's turn. We have double Hain, which means all the monsters currently on the field are not targetable. We have some battle protection. We have, we can cheat out some cards. This can become a Quiritis or a Lulu, depending on what your situation calls for. We still have the pop. We still have a monster negate by shuffling back these two. And we have interruption in the form of a Luber. If one of our spellcasters leaves the field, he'll special summon and negate a monster on the field. That is what the first combo looks like. Let's see what the second combo looks like. Now let's say we draw the 1-up Quim and a way into a Luber. Here's how you can build the exact same board with this combination of cards. Opening, we'll send a card that we're not using, that we're sending Golem, to bring out the Aluber, and then on summon Aluber will search us the Brand Fusion. We don't want to do Brand Fusion just yet though. We want to normal summon the Quim so that Quim can set up the graveyard with a Cartesia. This is so that when we activate the Branded Fusion, we make the Albion, and then this will trigger Quim to special summon the Cartesia. We'll do Albion Chainlink 1, Quim Chainlink 2. Quim will special summon the Cartesia. And then this is very important, we must use one of our Witchcrafter names and Quim, because if we don't get Quim off of the board, we will run out of space. That is one of the drawbacks of this deck. It's kind of its own enemy in the sense that it keeps too many boards, or too many bodies on board. But from here, how do we get to the same board as we did earlier? Well, it's the same moves, just kind of in a different order. We'll go Cartesia effect to fuse, and then chain Vice Madam to special summon a Shmita, fuse off the Cartesia and the Aluber for a Granguinol, Rainbow Null will trigger on summon to send the Alba. And then we use Schmida and Albion to contact fuse into Chorozo. You could probably see where this is going. Schmida effect send the Patronus. And then this time we will use the Vare magic to send the Jenny from deck to grave. And then we'll trigger the Vice Madam to Lacrima to pull Patronus. And then from here it is the same combo. You send the Jenny, use Jenny to copy Lacrima, which will get us our first Hain. We set the Patronus, we move to end phase. Albion will set the Retribution. Albalinus will add the Fusion, and Cartesia will add to hand. On the draw phase, we shotgun the Patronus. We will shuffle back. We'll do Quim this time. Shuffle back the Quim for the holiday. Wait for a spell card or spellcaster to trigger Vice Madam to special summon the Schmida. Shotgun the Schmida. Use Vice Madam to pull the holiday back. Gives us our second Hain. Now for an alternate inboard line, we have to open up with a Quim, a Cartesia, and an actual Witchcrafter name. This is a Boardwipe inboard. Here is how we get there. We will normal summon the Quim, and Quim will send a Shrouded Dragon to the graveyard. Shrouded Dragon acts as an Albaz name while it's on the field or graveyard, which means that we can activate Cartesia's effect in hand to special summon. From here, we need to fuse Cartesia with our Witchcrafter name to make a Vice Madam. This will trigger Guiding Quim to special summon Cartesia from the graveyard. Quim's effect will trigger, or can trigger, Vice Madam to special summon from the deck. So chain 1 Quim, chain 2 Vice Madam to special. We'll special summon a Schmida off of Vice Madam, and we will special summon Cartesia off of Quim. Here we will synchro for 8 using the Schmida and the Guiding Quim to make Varum the Magistus Divinity Dragon. From here, we can use Schmida's effect to send from deck to graveyard. If you have a spell card in your hand that you can force Vice Madam to pull, you can send Patronus, pull the Patronus, and set it for some hand power. But because of how weak this inboard is, I almost always prefer to go a more protective route. I would send the By Street. And then if you have Vare Magic, you can do the Vare Magic line, sending Jenny and then banishing Jenny with the Lacrima to get you a Hain. Not likely that you'll have a spell card in hand to activate this, though By Street on field you can use. It's just at the expense of your protection. But Hain does prevent your opponent from targeting your spellcast. Before we go end phase though, we want to use Albion to send Opening to the graveyard. This is another layer of protection. So we move to end phase. By Street places itself to the field. This board, you keep 1 card in hand. Hain is preventing your opponent from targeting your spellcasters. We can force Vice Madam to pop this card by using Cartesia to fuse it off. So we would go Chainlink 1, Cartesia to fuse, Chainlink 2, Vice Madam non-target pop. It'd go pop the Varum, and then we can use these two to make a second Vice Madam. You can also use Cartesia as a dodge if your opponent finds a way to get to your Vice Madam. You can dodge it with Cartesia. But we can force Varum in a new chain to destroy all your opponent's face-up cards by playing Cartesia this way. And now the line that I'm sure everybody has been waiting for, the D-Shifter line. If you open D-Shifter and a way into a Luber, that is almost guaranteed a gain. And it is even better if you also open up a Cartesia and a Albaz name in the hand. But these two alone is perfectly enough. I will show you the full line though. In the draw phase, we will shotgun that D-Shifter, and then to the D-Shifter, we have to chain Opening. We want to Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2, because before this resolves, this is going to do its thing. We're going to send our Albaz name to special summon an Luber, and then D-Shifter resolves, setting up our graveyard a little bit. In a new chain, a Luber will search the Branded Fusion, which we will then use. We'll send Hain and an Albaz to make a Lubellion. Lubellion will send our 1 card that we're not using. To fuse, we can use Hain and our Dimension Shifter in the graveyard, shuffle them back for a Vice Madam. And then here, if you have a Cartesia, Albion is in the grave. We can special summon Cartesia, activate this, Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2, Vice Madam to special summon from the deck. We can special summon any of our Witchcrafter names pretty much except Hain and Golem. And then we can use Cartesia to fuse. We can fuse these two off for a Granguinol, but don't send off a Granguinol because we don't get any plus by sending things to the Banish. And this is where we end here. We have the Vice Madam's triggers here. We have 2 bodies on board and a Granguinol that can turn into a Quiritis or a Lulu. Do have protection in the graveyard in the form of opening, and your opponent now has to play the game without access to their graveyard. And that is the deck list, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to now open up the comment section to hear your guys' thoughts. What do you guys think of the deck list? What do you think of the combos? Whether or not are you going to play this build? Are you going to make some changes? What are you going to do with this knowledge? I would like to know. Please keep the comments somewhat civil. I would like to read all of them and have a decent conversation about how we can make this build better. I know we're getting 6 new cards in the OCG at some point this year. Thank you guys for watching. Check out my channel for all my other things. I do mostly music and Yu-Gi-Oh! Everything I do is in my link tree. You can check it out all in the description. And I can't wait to hear what you guys think about this video. Appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.